Git is a fun tool. So have you made an account with GitHub before? Or do you have one already?
Yeah, I made one. I just didn't really know where to go from there,
Okay. So on the main screen, there's Setup Git, like the main page on github.com.
Yeah.
Setup Git. You need to install GitHub Desktop. There's a link underneath Setting Up Git.
Okay. Oh, I see it. I see it.
And download and install that. I recommend just using the command line commands to push your code, not worrying about the whole desktop application.
Does it have a GUI and such?
Yeah, there's GUI options, but it's not very reliable. I don't know. That's my experience with it.
I've never had a problem with GUI.
Is it just an SFTP client, basically?
Essentially, yeah.
Michael, if you want, I can show you like the quick command line stuff if you want.
I think it's got
the way that I know how to do it.
Yeah, you could show me.
So I'll just do this really quick. So can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
So I, for example, my Google Drive, fall 2015, CIT 360. So here's my understanding portfolio. And I have these 3 folders, so personal code, team code, and team meeting URLs. So let's say, I'll just copy this really quick. So once this video is done being recorded, I'll go ahead and put it in here. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it from the terminal. So you have to install Git, and then you'll get the command line. And stop me if I'm... This is the same thing as my Git portfolio. And right here, this is my GitHub. So understanding portfolio, and this is the same thing that you saw before on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is the reason that those other 2 folders are missing, my personal code and the team code, is because there's nothing in them right now. So that's why these 2 folders don't show up on GitHub yet. But as soon as I put something in here, then it'll show up on my GitHub. Anyway, so if we come back here...
I need to set up my GitHub like that.
That's just how I set it up, but you can set it up however you want.
Mine's just a mess.
So the first thing that you have to do is do a git add, which basically means I want to add, files to my GitHub. And if you want, you can say like specific file here, but a quicker way is just to do the entire directory. So I usually do like a git add dot, and then if you type git status in here, and you can say, okay, it sees that there's a new file. Team meeting URL is team meeting 3 URL. So once you add that file, it's not like, the way that I understand it, it's kind of in like a staging area. Like it's not really on your computer and it's not really on GitHub yet. It's just kind of like in this floating space.
Yeah.
And you have to say that you want to commit those changes. So you type git commit, and then usually it's a good idea if you type in like a message just to describe what you changed. So if you do a -n, you can say new team, and if you hit enter, it now says, okay, 1 file's been changed, there's 1 new line that's been inserted, and so it's ready. Then all you have to do is push it up to your GitHub. So git push -u origin, and then there's this thing called branches. So basically, you can work on different pieces of code. It's kind of confusing. I don't even know that I really understand it.
Well, it's to keep its version control, so you can have different versions of your code, and you're changing different parts of it And so your master branch is your main parts of the code, but if you're going to experiment on it, you make a branch.
Oh, okay.
So have you ever like worked on a project before and you're about to change some code and you're like, I don't know if this is going to break it or not, so you copy into like a new directory, you play with it, and then if it works, then you make those changes. But if it doesn't work, you just delete that folder and you haven't hurt anything.
Yeah.
That's kind
Yeah.
of the same thing with branches. Like you can make a new branch and kind of like play with code and manipulate it. And then if it works, then you can actually merge it back into your master branch, the main branch. And if not, you can just delete the branch and no harm is done. So that's kind of what branches is. Anyway, so if I do this and hit enter, then it says it wrote the objects. And so now if I come up here to my GitHub and refresh and come, so that notice here, this is where that message comes in. New team meeting URL, it just kind of shows what you changed. And if I come in here, I now have a team meeting 3 URL, click here, and there's the code.
Yeah, that's a very brief way of doing it through the command line. You first have to set up what you're pushing to. You have to have your SSH key and the, what else is it called?
Does my own GitHub provide me?
Yeah, so you'll have to have the URL to your repository, and it's right here. This URL, and it'll give you like all the steps to set up a repo and connect to it. And if you have issues, you can send me an email or whatever, and I can walk you through it too.
And also, very first thing you do when you in your terminal, you have to do a git init in the folder. Because if you don't initiate git for the folder, you won't be able to. It won't have anything to cling to, basically.
So, for example, let's say like this team. So this team folder, this Google Drive that we have, it's not like a Git directory. So if you come in here, do you see this like hidden folder that says .git? That means it's a Git directory, meaning you can commit to it, you can push it up to GitHub, whatever. This folder right here, there's no .git, meaning it's not a GitHub or not a Git repository. And so Harry, what he was saying is you can make a folder, a Git repository by typing git init. And it now says, oh, it's a Git repo, and see how this folder showed up?
Yeah.
You can now push it up to GitHub.
Mm-hmm. You have to do that before you can push it out and everything. Yep.
So, anyway, there's like a brief overview. It basically, like you're saying, it is an SFTP type thing, but it has some cooler features like branches.
And you can roll back.
Stuff like that. So
the important thing is the rollback that you can do with it. Because if you committed some bad code that screwed everything up, you can just go into GitHub and say rollback.
So, okay, I'll shut up now. Somebody else can talk.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I'm good.
Unless anybody has code to present or anything.
I don't right now.
Okay.
Next week.
David, thanks for getting all the Hangout set up too. That's a big help.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right, Tuesday.
So Tuesdays at 8 I actually have a team meeting with a different class. Does Thursdays work for everyone?
Those are fine for me.
Yeah, Thursday's fine for me too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Cause I mean, the reason I usually have meetings on Tuesdays is because there's stuff sometimes due on Wednesdays, but it doesn't really seem like that's the case in this class. So.
Seems like everything will be due Saturdays.
Yeah. So I think Thursday should be fine.
Cool.
If that's cool with everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Thursday at I guess this 7. Your guys' time work for everyone? 8 my time.
7 Mountain Time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll work.
All right. Cool. You guys have a good night. I will post this link on the group page.
Cool.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
guys.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Bye.
Night.